Do you find yourself overcome by jealousy or insecurity in your relationship? Well, today we're going to talk about 2 steps that you can take to stop this pattern. Hi everyone, my name is Mireille Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. So let's talk a bit about what to do when you're feeling jealous or insecure in your relationship or when you're dating someone. Now, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart because when I was struggling in my relationship with my husband, back then boyfriend, one of the things that started happening was that I was starting to feel more and more jealous. The more that he distanced himself, the more that I lacked the communication skills and couldn't express my needs, the more I would find myself really being put off and triggered whenever he talked about another woman. So when things were going down in my relationship and we were struggling, my husband would go out with his work friends a lot more, for example. And every time he'd come home and maybe he'd talk about one of his female coworkers, I would start feeling really jealous and insecure inside. And it would cause problems in our relationship because based on that reaction and that feeling inside, that is how I would respond to him and talk to him. And as you can imagine, and maybe if you've been in this situation yourself, you know that when you're not feeling good about yourself and you're scared and you're suspicious, you're not going to be talking to your partner in the most loving and compassionate way, right? So today I'm going to share with you 2 steps that you can take to rebuild your confidence and not feel so jealous and insecure in your relationship so you can have your happily ever after. So the first step I encourage you to take to overcome this jealousy and insecurity is to really start doing more self-reflection. So I want you to really look inward. And the question to ask yourself here is, would you want to date yourself? Would you want to be around you the way you are now anyways, right? Because what I noticed was when we were struggling, I wasn't being myself anymore. I was being an insecure, needy version of myself. And when I was thinking in terms of just the way I was talking to my husband or my boyfriend at the time, just the way I was interacting with him and just showing up and just my energy overall, when I really sat down and thought about it and journaled about it, I realized I wouldn't want to be around me either. So that was a big eye-opening moment for myself. So one of the things that's going to be really important for you is to really make sure that you are being the person that you want to be in the relationship and the person that he fell in love with in the beginning, right? To bring that magnetism and that attraction back. Now you might be saying, well, Mireille, it's hard for me to be that way because we are struggling right now. And because things are good, and if he just did this, and if he listened to me more, and if he validated me more, I would be my old fun, happy self, right? That's easier said than done, given the circumstances and all the negativity that might have been playing out over the course of the last few years, which was the case in my situation, right? We started off really strong, and then because we didn't have the skills and the tools, we started fumbling and our relationship started going sideways, and I just wasn't the same person I was at the beginning. So I started to feel insecure and not good enough like I was in the beginning, right? Because of I just wasn't showing up as myself, and I wasn't being that person that I wanted to date myself anymore, right? I just wasn't being my old fun self. So number 1 is going to be to really look at yourself and ask yourself, right? Am I being the fun person I always am, right? How am I showing up in my relationship? And the more you can show up as your authentic, great to be around self, the more that's going to reduce any sense of insecurity that you have. It's going to remove that jealousy and alleviate that pressure when you hear or see other women, right? Because you know that you're awesome to be around and you are just showing up as your full awesome self. The second step to take to really overcome that jealousy and insecurity you might be feeling in your relationship, your marriage, or in your dating life is going to be to develop your confidence and your courage. Now, your confidence is simply the idea of knowing that you are going to be okay no matter what happens. And courage is just doing things despite the fear. And one of the best ways to develop confidence that I really discovered for myself and I see in other women when I work with them is just the whole idea of having the skills and the tools in the relationship, right, to navigate any kind of conflict or when things aren't going so well and things are hard, right? Like we lose confidence, and I know I've experienced that for myself, when we don't know what to do, when we're kind of like just going by the seats of our pants, or we're just kind of hoping and praying things get better in a relationship, or that he will change, or that suddenly, you feel heard or whatnot. But really, that's kind of leaving things to chance, and that's always going to be a very risky approach. So I'm all about women empowerment, and the greatest way to empower yourself is to really learn the skills, right? Like the communication skills, the relationship skills, the conflict management skills. Like once you have those skills, you can be confident in the way that you show up and you approach certain situations. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to build that courage to just talk to someone about a difficult topic like your partner, right? When you have the skills to kind of back it up and to know how you approach it so that you can feel good about the way that you're expressing yourself, and you're expressing yourself in a way that's going to give you the greatest chance of getting a positive outcome. So the more skill that you have, the more you're going to be able to be confident and be brave and just cut through the fear and just do what you need to do and say what you need to say. And also, when you have the skills and the tools and the techniques and the approaches to be in your relationship, one of the beautiful things that happens is you develop that sense of bravery also from the fact that you know that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay, right? Like even, let's say you are in a situation where, in your scenario, things maybe don't work out eventually. By having these tools and these skills, you can have that confidence that when you're in your next relationship, everything's going to be fine, right? Like a lot of times women I work with have a hard time changing the way they are in their relationship or applying new skills because they're like, oh, what if I ruin it? What if I get it wrong? And then, we break up or it ends the relationship, right? There's always going to be that risk. And that risk, let me tell you, is also there from not doing anything. By not doing anything to fix what's going on, you're taking a huge risk that things are going to end, or that he's going to leave, or that you're going to have to make that powerful decision to leave yourself. So the more you can have the tools and the skills, the more you can know that, whatever happens, no matter what, you're going to be okay because you're going to have these skills forever. It's not a waste of time to try them on someone with who maybe things aren't going so well or you're not sure about. You want to have these skills so you can be confident no matter what happens, whether things work out amazingly or whether you're forced to move on to the next relationship where you will use these tools and could have your happily ever after there. So these are the 2 steps I wanted to share with you in terms of how to overcome any jealousy and insecurity in your relationship, in your marriage, in your love life. If you have any questions about these skills or you would like more support or help with these, I have a coaching program catered specifically to you. So make sure to look in the description below and click that application link. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, leave them below. I will get back to them and I will see you guys in the next video.